Okay, that's enough music. That's enough music. how many times we played that? I don't know. Let's get But it's our tune. It's our tune. That's our tune. That's it. Nobody else has decided to use it. That's saying that it's no good or what? I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a couple of things to talk about today, but we'll just wait for everybody to get along here. We've got some information on the PDPA, which seems to be everybody's becoming an expert on that. So we'll chime in and be an expert and cite actual material, right? Because a lot of people are just making this shit up. And who else we got? Yeah, Kimbo.
He's joined us.
He joined us. Good. Look at this. He actually got the real stuff.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the real stuff?
I just dropped into an Asian grocer with Bella on the way up to pick her up, and they've got
really?
stacks of 4-pack. So yeah.
Really? God, that stuff is so hard to get in Australia. It's the real stuff, by the way. You know, it's none of this bloody carbonated fizzy shit. This fizzy drink that the Americans created. It's not the same stuff, you know.
Excuse me a second.
Cheers. Yep. We got the Jack Dorrington. Jack. Hey, Shaggers. Jack is back. The Jack is back. He's got the Jack. Did we say that? AC/DC. Malcolm K. G'day. How you doing? And of course, Mr. Todd. Todd Austin's here. So we're starting out today. What do we go? Yeah, we got some articles. We got some things. We're just waiting for people to just rock up and join us. Otherwise they start to rewind back. And Dallo's here. And just like that, I'm here and in bangers. But you didn't come to the meetup last night.
Last night? No.
Damn slacker! God, I don't know. What are we supposed to do with him? He was supposed to bring our Vegemite. And Johnny Siam. Haven't seen Johnny for a while. A few of the people coming out of the woodwork. So we're going to talk about the PDPA. Chime in on the whole debacle. Well, debacle. It's not really a debacle at all. Zeke man, hello. I've been here before, but not for a long time. G'day, Zeke. How you doing? Wife's family stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah. So when are you coming to hang out with us? I'm gonna try to see if we can work something out. We're working. We're looking at doing next Friday. We haven't got it finalised yet, but we're going to do another hangout up at the Groove here in Salia. So that's on the cards. If you want to come out this far out west of the city, then you're more than welcome. But yeah, so we're trying to get Chanya and her friends to come and join us, just to because we always talk about the girls and everything else, but they're a little bit shy on camera. The only person who's not shy is Chanya, because she's always in camera, but the other girls are a little bit on the shy side, which makes it a bit difficult. Mr. Brian Martin. Okay, well, he's got to change his name to Bill. But yeah, so the second thing, of course, we got open bars and we got the taxi mafia, and we had our first time experience with the taxi mafia last night in two cases of taxi mafia. Oh my God! It's basically the bars open, the taxis just lost their plot, because they're all out there trying to make up for 2 years of lost revenue or something. I don't know what it is. It's amazing how you open a bar and so the bars are open and the taxi mafia come out of the woodwork. Really? Yeah. We booked the Shangri-La over the river next Friday, so we'll be in the city on the 10th. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's when we're trying to be out here, so we might have to work another day. We'll get closer to that one when we get there. Yeah. As long as you don't get called late for dinner. Okay. So might as well. We're 5 minutes into it. I think we're going to start to bring the articles up. And of course, I've got to share my screen to the Discord so that we can keep it on screens. And this one go live, and then of course I then tell them if I can go over here, and then I don't share it to the rest of the group. Okay, well, we're good. Okay. Yeah, so moving right along. Yeah, so there's a lot of people weighing in on this thing here. Like this has been an ongoing discussion over the last 2 years, and it's amazing how everybody becomes an expert on this thing in 3 days. And well, Todd, he's worked in the field of media. And we've talked about it at length over the period, the stuff. But nothing's new. What we're getting at is nothing's changed, right? Basically, Thailand is now falling into line with the European Union's mandate on data protection, right? It really only has an enforcement to do with businesses who collect data, as in the data that can be used for nefarious activities. So, well, we'll go and read the article. Thailand's drive to provide more comprehensive online safety for the individuals. What we're doing, we're protecting the snowflakes out there, and just don't get me started on that shit. It's called the Personal Data Protection Act. Major firms welcomed enforcement, as was pushed back twice before through the COVID, blah blah blah. Just make sure, what am I missing? 5 days till the land Bangkok. Good. Working on my Thai girlfriend. Get on the jail card. Okay, well, you're going to buy her an iPhone, are you? Johnny Jane loves it. We'll always have a night there every trip. I think she's all ready to handcuff me to her when they're okay. Fair enough. Yeah, just buy an iPhone. Then you get it's a hall pass, for a year. Works for me. Okay, Peter's first time to created governing the data protection sets forth the requirements for data controllers and data processors, including both public and private entities, on how we receive the consent from data subjects. Right, how it affects me, as you know, I've mentioned this before. I do have my own website. And if you're not subscribed to my website or on the email list, then you're slack. We won't go too much into it. Now, this does have data collection, right, and does also have all these appropriate sort of European law mandates. So I have to change nothing in my website because I already complying with the European Union on data collection, the privacy, everything else is all under control. Right, which means if anybody has data on there or adds data and they turn around to me and say, I want to remove my data, I'm obliged to then concede the fact that, well, you've been posting on here for how long, and then you decide, no problem, just delete. It's a simple database deletion, and of course that's end of story. Likelihood of that happening is next to nothing, but as soon as I say that, somebody's going to want me to remove their data. But anyway, it does apply to me in this situation. It does not apply to me in the YouTube world, if you understand the differences. And we'll go into I said there's a few people out there. I don't want to use names, but they're all been on the case of posting pictures of places that they go and then putting little emojis over their faces, because this is what they're sort of interpreting the law to mean. No, it doesn't mean anything like that at all. It's ridiculous. No, I've got to do that meme. Does that meme come up? Because I just said Depp heard trial. I've got to put the meme up. If I can find where the photo is. Hold on. Just getting sidetracked. There's a wombat moment, yeah. Where did it go? I think I've lost the meme. Somebody put it up. Where'd I put it? Okay, maybe I didn't post it. I think I put it on, saw it on Facebook. Yeah, the only man in history to actually win an argument with his wife, isn't it? But yeah, okay. Data subjects also have the right to request access to their personal data, and the only personal data is obviously names versus email addresses, and nothing else they collect. But if they wanted that removed from my website, I'm obliged to do that. I was always obliged to do it anyway, and as with data collection, it's not something new. It's just it's been around forever. Just that more and more laws to make it more enforceable. Whatever. Anyway, and to cut a long story short, the real stuff. Let's see if we can get this thing up a bit bigger so we can actually see it. We'll all see it. Right. The data explainer clarification of 4 common misconceptions regarding the details of Personal Data Protection Act, which will be enforced today. This is a few days ago. Is it wrong to take pictures or video clips of identifiable individuals without their consent? It can be done if it is conducted unintentionally and without malicious intent. That is a very, very key issue. Is it wrong to upload photos or video clips belonging to someone else to post on social media without their consent? It is not considered wrong if it is not used for commercial gain, or if it does not cause damage to the other. So this is falling back into a line of what's that word that trying to think of the word. When you defamation. So, yeah. And defamation is already sort of well established here in Thailand, and it's actually sort of strictly enforced as well, especially when it comes to lèse majesté, if I said that right. Is it wrong to set up CCTV cameras at the house without warning signs? If it is not required if the CCTV cameras are used for crime prevention and security. Setting up a CCTV camera, outside the window of somebody else's bathroom, not so legal. Okay, it's a completely different act.
It's an implied intent. That's what we discussed yesterday. It's an implied intent.
Yeah. And is it necessary to ask permission from the owner of personal data every time before using it? It is not necessary to ask permissions every time if it is conducted via contract or under the authority of law, and the data is used for life-saving purposes, statistical research, public blood. Really doesn't affect us, people on YouTube, but basically, it's the saying, does Bangkok Post need to seek my permission every time if they wanted to use a photo I had or a piece of video clip of it that I had? No, once you give them the permission, it's implied ongoing. I will be changing a little bit of the way I do my videos going forward, and like I did it last Wednesday when we were out having lunch, and we got the two serving girls. One of those girls was a Saosong, and the other girl regular cisgen. But I sort of said, you don't mind being on YouTube, do you? And they said, no problem. It's all that's required there, because they were specifically, in the shot and identifiable. And they were a focus of that particular part of the clip. You've got to use a little bit of common sense in here, and that's really all you've got to do going forward. Like I think we also did it when we did the last video I put out, when we did the Redfern bar. We went in, saw who was inside. We just checked with the guy that was in there, and he had no problem whatsoever. The girls had already consented. I didn't put the consent of the girls on the camera because that was already pre-arranged anyway. It was their idea to do the clip, if you know what I mean. I'm just helping them promote their business. There is no cost involved. We just enjoy that place, and we're only too happy to be mates. So yeah, that's how it all works. But I said, so you won't be seeing video clips of people with emoji faces and everything else. No, that's just unless of course it's the sort of stuff that is already deemed banned on YouTube anyway. And if you go through the YouTube terms and conditions, or the compliance of YouTube's community guidelines, channels like Bangkok 112 and Bangkok 69 and all those other nefarious, voyeuristic, channels, I will use those names because I think it's distasteful what they do. And it just requires anybody in any, if they're ever caught in one of those clips, all they need to do is reach out to YouTube and say, what is this? This is non-compliance of your community guidelines, and potentially they should be able to take the channel down. Not just the clip down, they can take the channel down, right? Because continued breach of that particular rule, and they're stuffed. And I hope somebody does that. I can't do it. I've never been caught in a clip, so can't be involved in it. But but if you're identifiable in those clips, or if anybody's watching this and sees themselves identified in those clips, or identifies people in those clips and reaches out to them and say report them, right? You can easily take those channels down because it is clearly that's a clear definition within the community guidelines that is illegal in YouTube's world. But again, that they'd rather pass more laws outside YouTube than actually sort of due diligence and take care of it by the proper proper way that YouTube runs. But anyway, enough of that. What else we got going on here? What download start? That's works. That's okay. This is Bangkok next chance. Mate, how does the Thai language study go? Todd is doing
Johnny,
course.
I'm actually doing the study.
So
I'm back at school next week, Johnny.
Next Friday, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, next Friday, yeah.
Ralph Lewis, saw myself in one of those a few years back. Okay, well, if that video is still there, you have every right to go and sort of cite the ruling. You have to go and look up the details, cite the ruling yourself, and say, how does this material ever get on YouTube? It's a clear breach of the community guidelines. Do something about it. YouTube have to act. I've had one issue. I think a video from about 4 years ago. YouTube did send me not so much a takedown order. There was a clip in, of all places, the Down Under bar. It was about 7 seconds of video where somebody was caught in the background. They then reached out to YouTube and says, I've been identified. I can see myself clearly identifiable in that bar, and I did not consent. YouTube just reached out to me and says, from 3 minutes 35 seconds to 3 minutes 41 seconds, you need to remove that, and they give you the tools to do it. So there was a 7 second cut in the video where that pan shot caught him. As long as you keep track of that, if I didn't act on it, yeah, you can have your channel taken down, but that's how you do it. But yeah, I've always complied with the way the rules work. So, assume that the new laws apply. No, basically it's going forward. There's no, this has already been identified as not backdated. But as I said, in the YouTube world, that's a different matter. That was already established, and the ruling came in, was it 2 years ago? And I think it can be backdated. But that's YouTube's terms and conditions as opposed to a new Data Protection Act, and the Data Protection Act is a move going forward. I bet it is cold and icy down there. Who were we talking to yesterday? That's right. No, that's right. Well, one of the girls in Redfern. Has a brother, sister?
Sister, I think, in Hornsey.
Gosford area, Gosford, yeah. So Fern got her on phone, and we had a bit of chat, and she was telling us it's freezing cold.
Yeah, we've got a polar blast coming through at the moment.
And sometimes you think, what a small world we got. So there's Fern, who comes from Cctv, which is where Chanya's mother grew up, and so we're what we call, we're family now. Then she turns around and said, but whereabouts in Sydney? We're in Gosford, and it's a small world, it really is. We don't realise how small it is sometimes. Ralph, I also did see some of myself and other videos did take. Ralph, I also did see myself on videos others did take. Wazza, yeah. It's alright. If you want me to remove that stuff, you're quite well in your rights to say so, if you want. I'll just lose your spanner, that's all. You won't be one of the crew anymore, that's right. Make me do work. Dowlow too, isn't it?
Well, it is the wet season, so it is about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than.
Well, it feels
Yeah.
cooler, yes. Yeah, okay, where I haven't got anything to do with the taxi mafia. But the next article I was going to, didn't actually, yeah, so this is the other one I want to talk about because, again, a lot of speculation about what's right and what's wrong, and people are always coming to me. I don't know why they come to me and ask me these questions, but they think I smoke ganja or something. I don't know, where'd they get that idea? What, from the T-shirt I was wearing? I talk about it, make videos of it. I don't know. It's just weird, isn't it? Go to Cctv. More than 4,000 inmates been charged or convicted in connection with cannabis-related offences will be released from jail when the regulation removing cannabis and hemp from the list of narcotics takes effect on June the 9th. So that's what this is saying here. This guy here, the department's chief director general and spokesman, said the inmates' release is a result of the Public Health Ministry regulations gazetted February 9th, come in effect on June 9th. From that day, all parts of cannabis and hemp plants except extracts containing more than 0.2% tetrahydrocannabinol. Right. I can say that word. I can't say these Thai names. I can say tetrahydrocannabinol. It rolls off the tongue. The plant psychoactive ingredient will no longer be on the narcotics list. The regulation effectively absolves anyone who produced, imported, exported, possessed, sold, blah 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 blah. They no longer deemed offences. Those who are still serving time for cannabis-related crimes will be released from jail. Mr. Tawatachai, if I said it right, added that suspects detained for questioning on cannabis-related charges will also be released and their cases dropped. Those in possession of a criminal record after having been convicted of such charges will also have their records deleted from the criminal database, so on and so forth. In the event that a person faces multiple charges, not so much, but that part of the charge will be removed. There is currently 3,219 inmates convicted and 884 waiting for trial or on trial. Spokesman said some families, this is the thing, this is Thailand, some families are being tricked by gang claiming it could secure early release of inmates for a fee. So they're getting out in front of this to stop people being ripped off because this is Thailand. Last month, the Public Health Ministry signed a memorandum of understanding, blah, 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 ensuring cannabis will be used for medical reasons and for research and its support of its decriminalisation. Department of Agriculture said the department was working to ensure that only high-grade species of cannabis plants are imported for growing. The trouble is, I'm pretty sure that, Thai cannabis is probably one of the most recognised around the world. And I remember smoking Thai sticks back in the late 70s, early 80s. It was always the best shit, man. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a police officer first day on a narcotics squad not knowing the meaning of the word shit, man? He walks up there and the criminal walks up and, hey man, you want to buy some shit, man? Police officer, shit? You sell feces? What? Anyway, that's a bit of a take on. That's a bit of a take on George Carlin. Department of Agriculture, yes, did that. Department announced it would invoke at least 3 laws to control import of seeds from overseas, namely plant control, species control, and species protection. But yeah, so some of the stuff that's been coming out of the northern parts or northwestern parts of US has been 55% THC or something like that. Some incredible number. But yeah, Bossa Nova's in the town. Hey, boss. My Phil grows monsters at the farm. Yes, okay. It's durian season. Don't tell me about it. I'll always tell. Look, I've got really no issue with durian. I just have a thing about why would I want to, fall in line with the whole idea of eating a seasonal fruit that's around for 2 to 3 months a year, right? And I watched Mother. She's addicted to this stuff, and then she goes cold turkey for 9 months. Really? Can't be bothered with it. Plus the stuff still smells anyway. Question for a friend: when he comes to Thailand, can he bring his boogie board bag filled with green stuff? So long as it's that's questionable.
Different country, Malcolm, for a start.
Yeah, I don't think you can get it out of the country, let alone get it into the country, because you've got to get it out of another country first. But yeah, it would constitute import, and then it falls under import rules, as well as this last one here, which was the species control. Even though it might be dead, it'll still fall under species control and plant control. So yeah, it's just like bringing in fruit, from overseas as well. So yeah, I would advise not doing it. Okay, some of the best cannabis can be grown. It does grow here. It's all right. It's not like it doesn't exist. It's just been under the carpet, so to speak. So long as it's under 300 kilos, is that right? Yes. Anyway, well, moving right. Yeah. So getting back to the whole. Yeah, that was our little articles we got for today. Where are we? So we're halfway through. Fine and jail. Yes. You really don't want to be taking a hotel room at the Bangkok Hilton. It's the Bangkok Hilton. Is really lower than 1 star from what I understand. That's the Bangkok Hilton, not one of the chain of Bangkok Hiltons, which people are more familiar with. There is a specific Bangkok Hilton. I think everybody knows what we're talking about here. Best fruit in Thailand is Mangosteen, apparently in season now. Yes, well, what was the one with the little coronavirus fruit? The
Ramadan.
Ramadan. They're in season now. They look like a coronavirus. The Thais love it.
They're like lychees on steroids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is another thing. So, what people don't understand with the smoking laws and everything else is the tobacco industry is very well embedded within the structure of economics here in Thailand. I'll leave it at that. And there's a lot of money involved in tobacco. We grow tobacco up in Cctv on the farm, so we've got a bit of a handle on how the whole thing works. I won't say too much about that, but it's a very, very in what they call it's one of these what they call not legacy. I'm trying to think of the word. It's an established industry, and they fight vehemently to keep it, bringing in money for the appropriate people involved in the industry, right? And so vaping, that presented a direct threat to the industry. So the law originally was the vaping was outlawed simply based on the fact that the equipment and the juices were coming in from China or other places and not paying the taxes that the tobacco industry have to pay. So they kept on making moves in government to say you can't have two different laws for the same sort of act, right? Letting that go, and we have to pay tax. Either we don't have to pay tax, or you're going to make them pay tax, and it was too hard to obviously stop that industry or the equipment coming in. So it became initially a tax evasion issue. And so if you were coming to Thailand and you were a vapor like myself at the time, you had to have a receipt from a foreign country to show the fact that I'd bought that equipment and paid tax for that equipment in another country. So I was indemnified. But then I think 2016 they sort of pushed that under the carpet, and they just totally outlawed it. It was just too hard to mandate and control, because they had to tell the world to bring receipts. So they just turned around. It's just too hard. Make it illegal. That's how it all happened, and of course it's been that way. Will they bring it back in? Well, there's a couple of organisations trying to deal with that and trying to make the changes, but it's an uphill battle. Just like it's an uphill battle to get the law changed about same-sex marriage. And it's just not enough people pushing the issue. Anyway, so it's moving along. As to smoking cannabis in the street, I have found articles already to suggest the fact that it will be illegal to be smoking cannabis in the street. Again, why? Simply because of the fact that there's no tax on it, right? It's you're smoking, right? And then the tobacco industry are going to push very, very hard. We're paying tax. People who are producing this stuff need to pay tax, and that's where it's going to be. It's just all to do with tax. It's got nothing to do with health. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's got to do with pay the tax, the tobacco tax, even though it's not tobacco. If you get what I mean. Anyway, moving right along. I'm thinking of growing some weed for personal use. Probably start with a small crop of 4,000. Only 4,000? It's what's only 3 acres, 2 acres? I'm sure you could. Haven't you got?
That is, yeah.
Oh, yes, I thought you had more rye than that. And of course, but the trouble is, you're going to have to look at the pesticides and everything else. Ganja needs to be really, really well cared for, and you're going to have to put covers over it and everything else to keep the bugs out. Yeah. Well, it's actually illegal to sit in Susie's bar and smoke a shisha pipe. That's still illegal. Again, why? Because the taxes and the tobacco industry. Even though there is we've been talking about it recently about different places that you can go to that do shisha pipes, and they seem to be getting away with it. They're just sort of paying the right people to be quiet about it. So. If I was to go to one of those places and make a video of a shisha pipe, yeah, you'd probably find within a week the place would be shut down because it becomes public. But this is the way Thailand works. I believe I read somewhere that you can read that. You're sure what you said? What was that?
Yeah. There is. I can't remember. I think it was on TAT. There's a 3-plant limit for personal use, and it can only be grown by Thai citizens. So that was the update from the health minister. Yeah.
I heard it was 6 plants per person.
All right, yeah.
6 plants per person per household. Right. So if that was, I could be wrong as well. The numbers seem to float around, but that was what struck me as, how big can Thai family be? Like, I went to a wedding once and there was 300 people there. That means 300 by 6. That's what's math? What? I don't do maths. Come on, what's that? That's 18,000.
Yeah.
18,000. That's 18. Yeah. That's just one family. 18,000 plants, and that's still within, get the whole idea. It's just weird. Yeah. Where does Thai family stop? I'm Thai family with Fern. She's my sister. Just that I'm a foreign, I can't grow plants. There was a term in the 30s, Johnny. You'd go down to the docks and you'd smoke rope. Did you not remember that one? Smoking rope? I don't know. I wasn't around that time, but I do know that was part of the mythology. They smoke rope and get high. Yeah, different strains. Yeah. Dowlow, great pervert watching the Thai lot. What? Good morning. Robert Groves is in the house. Yes, Robert, if you want to give us an update on how things went with the hospital, or you're keeping it just under your hat, because I haven't seen anything posted recently. I hope everything's going all right. Is it hey, Major Green, Meg Groves. Yeah. Anyway, what else we can talk about? I think we've wrapped it up.
Taxis.
Oh, the taxis. Yeah, God, we gave a bit of a wrap up last night. All that Todd talk about, I'm a bit talked out right now.
We had the meet up as we do at Susie's Bar. We've got the 3 locations in 7-1 that we visit and look after, and they look after us. And we've got a guy that joins us. He hasn't joined us this morning. He must have had a really big night. Alan normally jumps on. Alan's in a wheelchair, but we look after him. All the premises meet and greet and help him up the stairs if there's requirements and everything like that. He wanted to leave, and on one of the taxi apps you can actually order a large size taxi for wheelchair requirements. And because, I don't know, there's a change of taxi requirements now, he booked it 4 times. It was cancelled 4 times. As soon as they worked out where he was and it needed them to get off the main circuit road and go down a little soy, no, can't do it. Even though they've done it dozens of times before.
Yeah.
We finally got a taxi to come in with Byrne getting on Alan's phone and saying, hey, get your act together, he's booked you. And then that was just like mind-blowing. We've had issues with taxis not being available, but I mean, you get that anywhere. But to actually say you're coming, and then when they sent him questions and said, okay, where do we need to go? 7-1, I have a wheelchair. Cancel the booking. Not once, but 4 times. And poor old Firm was distraught. She wants to look after everyone. She's a great girl. And then, when we went to leave... we never have a problem with taxis. Never have a problem with taxis. We just know that we know the bullshit that they try. Well, they'll try the bullshit. But last night I could not believe it. Yeah, 7 taxis refused to put the meter on, and by law in Thailand, if you're a registered taxi driver, you need to use the meter. It is a law. Let me just say, it is a law. Yeah. And then one guy said, yes, we'll take you Saiha. And then all of a sudden we're doing a U-turn and we're thinking, okay, we're going to get a back way, we're going to miss Rama 9 and all that sort of stuff. And then he does complete U-turn. And he says, Soiha. No, not Soiha.
Saiha. Put them on ton, Saiha.
And he...
No.
Okay. So we're now no longer at the location we normally get our taxi from. Tried 2 more. They didn't want to know us. We crossed the road. Tried 1 more. He didn't want to know us. And then Warren said, you need to use the meter. Hang on, let me take a photo of you not using the meter.
As soon as I got my camera out, that's it. Complete change of story. Jumped in the taxi and took us home. But you got to know how to beat this system. The taxi mafia.
You do it politely. You don't. Yeah. I mean, a little bit terse, but you do it politely. Yeah. And he turned out to be an awesome taxi driver. Yeah. Went the quickest way home, and gave him a tip. I mean, if you don't force the tip on us, the fact that we are live here. We're not the 2 week or the 1 monthers. Sure, if you want to try and make up lost revenue over the last 2 years, everyone's fair game. But people have been here supporting Thailand during the 2.5 year period. Why should we have to be exposed to that? I mean, we talked about it. We don't have a Thai ID card. I suppose I've got my Thai driver's license.
Yeah.
If I show them that, hey, I live here.
Yeah.
Just please put the meter on. I want to get home.
Yeah.
And it was just like we've had one time where we've had to ask 2 taxis, and I think that person was just being opportunistic. But the next taxi that came along, yeah, fine, we'll take you. Stay home.
Yeah.
But last night I could not believe it.
Yeah, but as I said, the bars are now open, right? And this is the latest news. Is things apart from it's a 12 a.m. close, and we didn't leave phones until 1, did we? I think it was 1 before. Yeah. So, but things were closed at 12. Doors were closed at 12. Lights outside were turned off. But this is the way it goes. This is Thailand. But yeah, we left at 1. But yeah, sort of the bars officially closed at 12, and this is the taxi mafia. They just seem to have just come out of the woodwork. Can't believe it. It'll take a few months to settle back down again. I just think everybody's just trying to make up for lost revenue. Is this all I can put it down to? But it is a bit crazy. What they got to understand is you're just making a bad name for Thailand. But anyway, yeah. So Robert, not good news. Let's hope things will hear some better information on Monday for you. We're all rooting for you that we're going to get through this. But if you're not familiar with it, then I'm not in a position I can talk much more about that. Hello, Paul in Sydney. In sunny, cold Sydney. Yes, I know it's very cold from what I understood. Or Erin.
Chris Brand, yeah, we do speak a little bit of Thai. I was a professor's put my day. Yes, okay, you can say that. But we do ask in Thai, and it's not formal Thai. We do know how to ask in Thai to get home. That's one thing what we do know. But yeah, it was just really weird last night.
Yeah. I will, to the day I die, I'll profess that I don't speak Thai here in Thailand, even though I speak Thai, or speak enough Thai to get along. But I don't ever want to be in a position where I've got people then turning around and quizzing me. Like I have enough from Stephen Monash, right? And when we get on conversations, he's always on my case about the Thai that I do and don't know, and but it's not a game.
No.
I get by with the Thai I've got, and I learn a little bit more every day, But it's functional Thai. It's not conversational Thai. It gets things done, and all I get told most of the time from the people I talk Thai to, "Pote na markup," and then I don't know "Pote mai dai." They got no clue. But anyway, Niall's in the house. G'day, Niall. Good to see you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, speaks of Isan, yeah. That'll confuse them, because as soon as the more Thai you learn, then the girls start talking Isan behind your back, so then you're stuffed anyway. So it's just a game. We're sort of over the game.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing we've been talking about recently in our conversations openly in these different locations. We're so although we want to support Paul and the Triple X and a few other bars in Pat Pong there, just because it's a night spot. We're going to retrain these girls. Like if we sit down and you sit down with us, it's a drink for a drink. I'm quite happy to give you a 500 baht tip if you can go 1 drink for 1 drink, not 1 drink for me and 10 shots for you. That's just not on anymore. You know, I'm not taking you home. I'm not taking you anywhere. You were sitting down for company, you know, and so you don't look like a shag on the rocker, or you know, whatever. You know, you're just there as furniture, you know. And I will buy you a drink, but I'm not going to sit there and buy you 5 shots for every one of my drinks. I'm over that. No more.
My sister's new here, and then can you buy her a drink as well?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, and I think we've all got to start pushing this one. How about I just give you 300 baht to sit here and you can drink with me 1 for 1? And the more we do this, I think we can actually change the paradigm, you know, because they get what they want, because they only make like 50 baht or 60 baht per drink. You know, give them the 300 baht, and I said, now we'll just have a real drink. You know, but anyway, we can always think about changing the way things work. But this is Thailand. I don't think we would ever really sort of make headroads, but you know, we'll still stand our ground. Just like, you know, when a taxi driver doesn't want to put the meter on, you know, get my camera out. And your name was? You do know how to use the meter. Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Because they all know that.
Meter. Open meter. Yeah.
It's such a slide.
Yeah.
We're all doing well. You know, we're actually doing surprisingly well considering the amount of alcohol I was drunk last night. But Fern also she got somebody as a bartender. So you know.
Oh, she was awesome.
She was good.
She was open.
Mind she didn't know how to do a White Russian. She didn't put the Kahlua in the White Russian. A White Russian has Kahlua. It's got to have that coffee flavour, you know. But yeah, then I had to show her the recipe, and yeah. So it's been a long time since she made this one. Yeah. So it's been a long time since I was a bartender as well. Come on. I know what a bloody black White Russian tastes like.
Did have a couple of B-52s. She made the B-52s without using a spoon. Her hands did not shake one little bit.
Really? I saw look, the layering was pretty good, and
yeah,
they did manage to light them. That's usually a bit of a trick as well.
Yeah.
Because the alcohol content's really not up there enough to get a good flame on it.
Oh, well, that's what you need, Sam. Good.
Yeah. Here was it's a drink for me and a drink for you, not a drink for me and drink for you and for your mates. Exactly. It's just, you know. I said there were one of the videos I did. I think the April 1st one. There was that situation we were down at the strip there, and there was a special 990 baht buy the 6 drinks. Well, that's a photo op, you know, watching this girl drink 6 shots of the strawberry tequila? Oh my God, this stuff is vile.
I wasn't there that night.
Yeah, you missed out on that night, yeah. But she did. She just slammed these 6 shots down there, and you know, we got it on camera. And she was all into it. I don't know what she makes on her bar fight, or not bar fight, bar tipping thing. But yeah, 6 shots, she'd probably make 300 baht out of that, you know, maybe more. Who knows? But she seemed to like him. Then she did the whole mouth over the blowjob drink. Yeah. Hey, if you haven't seen that video, it's quite funny. But anyway, moving right along. Oh, I got 10 minutes to go. I think my Thai girlfriend is a taxi driver because she charges by the hour or inch, whichever is longer. That's just too much information, Malcolm.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, it's going to take It's going to take a little bit of settling down. You know, they are moving to the endemic state of play with everything that's going on. I think last week there was a first case of a in-transit passenger was something to do with the monkeypox bullshit that's going on. Really, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of scare tactics going on, guys. You just got to stay above it, you know. The free-thinking people.
The other
government
thing was one of the governors went masked free. I won't say which.
Oh yeah.
Research. Oh no, we're mask free. It's part of the new endemic situation. We're mask free. It lasted 12 hours.
12 hours. That's it. He was told in no quick time, don't you preempt anything.
Yeah.
Pull a line, or you're no longer a governor. We will send in we'll send the military in. I'm pretty sure that was what was on the table.
I thought it was awesome. Okay, they've been preemptive. Let's do it.
Bloody island states of Thailand. I don't know. Yeah, it's a completely different country down there. Not saying which country that was, but you know, you can work it out. But it was a lot of fun to see that one. You know, going hell for leather, and then telling it, come up. My day.
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, but yeah. I mean,
and like we know,
people,
you're gone.
Yeah. No. Well, the amount of people we saw on the BTS MRT platforms that weren't wearing. I mean, yes, they were still social distancing, but they were talking to someone or taking a photo. That's more commonplace now, whereas before they used to take the photo or the video with the masks on. So a lot of people are removing the mask, but they want to get that nice shot and everything like that, and I don't see a problem with that. They're in their own circle, go for it.
Common sense. Common sense. I know it's lacking in social circles these days, but good to see we good. And Ralph's out. Okay, got to run. Yeah, calls work. Work. He said that 4-letter word. But what else was there? There was.
I'll put an emoji over that word. There we go.
There we go.
That's the PDA stuff now. You can't say that word anymore, Ralph.
I'll put it in the ban. I'll put it in the ban list. Banned word list. But yeah. What else was there? So just something just flashed into my mind and then just quickly just exited. You know, like it's hollow in there. It just goes in one ear and out the other. You know, if I turn my head sideways, you can probably get. What I do is I put the light over here, and you can. It's completely hollow. But we met some. We met. What was this? Robbie, one of Thailand Paul's friends last night. We had an interesting conversation with him. He does work with Husqvarna and KTM, and he doesn't. His wife does. I'm not quite sure. It was a bit hard to try to get the whole gamut. Well, there might be something coming up. We might be doing some ride-outs with some Husqvarna and KTM stuff. We'll stick to our Vulcans, but you know we'll ride with them just to and do some videos.
When I finally get the registration.
Yeah, well, then we're good. So that's coming up. Maybe it's up to Robbie to get in touch with us. As I said, I can't even give you my phone number because that could be potentially conceived as, you know, working in Thailand. You know, but this is my YouTube channel. You'll find how to contact me through my social pages, which you endeavour to do. I can't actively do it for you. You know, it's the way it is. You know, I don't know who you are, but yeah. So he understood that as well. But yeah, we could be doing something to do with that, and maybe doing some ride-outs. You know, we did see his stand at the Motorcycle Expo, which was last weekend. He was actually on there with the GoPro crowd, so it was all good. So we did catch the stand. I didn't really have much to do, you know, with GoPro. I did mention the fact that I have one of those. Yep, moving right along. I said, you're gonna love the reverse psychology that bar girls use. Oh, you do not buy a drink for my friends. You have no money. I tell them that I can afford a $10 burger, but I am happy with a $2 burger. Yep.
We miss you, Niall. We miss you, Niall. Come back.
Yeah. This is, you know, so surely you can live here, can't you? You know, you're just going to make $80,000 US a year, haven't you?
The 5-year VIP visa.
Oh no, that's a visa, you know, the work digital nomad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many different visas you can get. All right, how's your house going, mate? Any building issues, etc.? Need fixing? No, but no. I have noticed there is a hairline crack, just from settling. It goes through one wall here, internal. That, not even worth mentioning. It just seems to be a crack. But that's expected. The house is not falling down after a year. But we got the kitchen work starts, I think Monday. Monday, it's 7th. 7th. What today? So 7th. So the Tuesday. So they were going to start last week, but the part of the building gang, they had to apologise, and half the crew had fallen ill with COVID and were told to stay off work. So such is life. Hopefully they're all over it. I don't want strange faces running around the house and spreading the viral disease, and I might get a runny nose again. Oh my God, can't have that. Totally sort of cramps your lifestyle. Anyway, we're wrapping it up. I can't think of anything else, but yeah, so we'll be doing some video on that when that starts, and a few other bits and pieces. I've got I can afford to live in Bangkok, but not if I keep buying drinks for the bar girls and her mates. That reverse psychology is more effective the drunker I get. Yeah, so I reached, we're chatting with Bangkok Pat, so we got, he's coming out for a haircut on Thursday, and a chat, and a video, and then we're going to go up to Salia. There's because he's doing a train series, he's a bit of a train buff. I'm a bit of a train buff myself. And not that I have anything to do with the Thailand train scene, because I really so hard to the loop of that one. It's not even as funny. But there's something up in Salia that we did a video up there and noticed it was there, and asked a bit of information. But most of the signage is in Thai, and it was a bit of a drama trying to translate everything. But we're going to go and have coffee up there and talk some more, and he's going to give you a bit of a history of the train scene in that thing, the Hopwell train carriage thing. But keep an eye out for that one. That'll be out in a week or so. Yeah, and Robert, I hope everything goes good on Monday. Our heartfelt feelings go out to you. These sort of things we don't want to, sorry, haven't we solved this thing here? We've solved everything else, but surely we can solve cancer. Except the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want to sue. It doesn't. What? Stop our customers? Fix our customer. Can't have that. But yeah, fix his life. Anyway, where's the button? Robert, Stephen Monash is not here to tell us to get the button off. Where is he? He's not here. Okay. Well, so I got the closing screen. We're out of here. We'll catch up with you next week. Stay tuned. Some videos coming out. So like, subscribe. Well, you've already subscribed as you've been chatting here. So like and hit that. The whole. I'm out of here. Bye.